The only thing worse than cops with big egos are rookie cops with big egos. Today we will talk about young cops who already at the start of their careers think they can impose their own laws. Take a look at how they coped when encountered with law experts, among other citizens. Let's go to the video. The most problematic issues arise when rookie cops, lacking in experience, believe their uniform grants them a certain authority. Take, for example, a young cop who stopped a man walking in public for no reason. The cop committed a particularly disrespectful act by throwing his unfinished breakfast onto the street. This behavior was not only rude, but also unfair, considering that if a citizen were to do this in front of cops, they would eagerly issue a fine. Despite being new to the job and not yet adept at it, this rookie cop seems to think respect should be demanded rather than earned. However, the issue is compounded by his senior colleague, who sets a poor example. The older colleague defended him in front of the man, arguing that throwing the food on the ground wasn't a problem. This didn't achieve anything positive. It merely showed the rookie cop that he would be protected even if he erred, implying that there were no consequences for his actions.
Right, so you threw that there? Right, oh, right. So you think it's okay to pull up outside somebody else's house and chuck your lunch or breakfast outside my house? That's acceptable, is it?
No.
If a law, listen, right, if I'd done that in front of a police officer, right, or if a litter enforcement officer saw me do that, right, I'll get nicked, wouldn't I? Of course I would. You got no respect, have you? It's a civil offence.
Okay, well, I can fully understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate that maybe it didn't look so bad, and I'll fully take that on board, and I do...
On board?
Yeah, I will keep that in mind for the future. I will definitely...
Pick the crust up and take it with you.
I will do.
Go on, off you go.
I'm not going to do it while you're telling me to do it.
Oh, you will, because I ain't moving until you do it. This is my house, and you just discard your food on the side of the road, right, without any thought. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Oh, so it's okay, is it?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. If you let me finish what I'm saying, I'm saying you said outside your house. So it is outside your house, but this is your property. This isn't your property.
I understand. Well, it's public property, so that makes it even worse, doesn't it?
The man demanded that the cop pick up the food he had thrown onto the street. However, the cop's ego was already so inflated that he couldn't bring himself to do the right thing. Instead, he felt offended because the man yelled at him. Well, if he had acted appropriately in the first place, perhaps the man wouldn't have had a reason to yell. After all, a person has the right to speak as they wish, right? I mean, it's a matter of freedom of speech.
Who do you think you are? Do you think the police are so above the little man that you can get away with that?
We will let you do whatever you need to do.
Well, pick it up.
I will take it with me.
Pick it up.
If you let me go.
Pick it up.
I will do.
Pick it up then. I'll shout at what I want. There's no law against it, is there?
Public place if you're.
Okay, all right. Right, now pick the thing up. And now I'm on private property.
You're shouting into a public area.
Pick it up.
Open to members of the public.
How dare you come to somebody's house and discard your food in front of their house, even whether it's a public property or not? Who the hell do you think you are? Pick it up.
I will do.
Now.
Please stop shouting at me like that. I just don't think that's quite respectful.
And I don't think it's respectful you discard your food outside my house.
He's apologised and he's going to rectify it. But we've just asked him to stop shouting.
Pick it up.
I'm going to.
Pick it up.
You leave me alone. Okay?
This time, a cop probably wanted to do something useful, but he didn't know how. He stopped a man who was just passing by on the street while the cop investigated a 12-year-old child running around the neighborhood completely naked. Okay, sure, but what does this have to do with the man and his drive? The cop should have left the man alone the moment he said he hadn't seen the child. Instead, the cop decided to run the man's ID. He doesn't seem to understand his role properly, but someone needs to inform him that he can't just ask people for their IDs without any reason. He must have a reasonable suspicion to do so.
Okay. That's the way that it is in Kentucky. When I went through the academy, that's the way that I was trained, is that if I'm conducting an investigation, I have the right to temporarily detain you.
Okay, what's your investigation?
My investigation was that there was an approximate 12-year-old juvenile running around this specific area
Gotcha.
naked. That's a very serious complaint.
Okay.
Okay. It's not just a, hey, how are you? Why are you here? This is a very serious complaint.
Gotcha. Who made the complaint?
I received that call in public service, and I do not have to tell you.
Okay, so call the complainant and figure out, where this child went. We have nothing to do with that.
Okay. All right. Do you have your identification on you?
No, sir. I don't need to identify myself.
You don't have to identify yourself?
No.
Okay.
You have reasonable articulate suspicion that I've committed a crime?
I do not think
Okay.
that you have committed a crime.
You have a body camera?
I have my body camera on.
Okay, very
This
good.
time, so
Gotcha.
it's recording.
And do you have an incident number for this? Or a CAD number or anything like that?
Dispatch will have a CAD number because I just radioed it
Gotcha.
in.
So this is not a traffic stop. You're just doing an investigation, right?
I am conducting an investigation in reference to the safety of a juvenile,
Gotcha.
which is a
Okay.
very serious charge.
Okay,
or
so
complaint.
I'm not obstructing you in any way. You can go ahead and do your investigation.
When the man asked the cop why he needed his ID, the cop replied because it was the man interfering with his investigation. But it was the cop who approached the man first, right? Nevertheless, the cop quickly realized the man was right, though of course he didn't want to admit it. He then claimed the man appeared very suspicious because he wouldn't identify himself, suggesting he might be involved in the very case the cop was investigating.
You are obstructing
Gotcha.
investigation by not answering any questions.
No, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
No.
Where did you get your degree? Are you an attorney?
I
Or
don't
are
an-
you a citizen?
I don't answer any questions.
Well, like I said, I am not trying to be difficult with you.
Okay.
I'm simply trying to conduct an investigation. From what I understand,
Mhm.
the way that I was trained at the DLCJT Academy in Richmond was that I have the right to detain you temporarily to conduct an investigation. You're
okay.
refusing to answer my questions, which means you are hindering my investigation.
That's not how it works.
Okay. So, are you the authority on the rules? I'm not. I'm just trying to follow them the best I was trained.
Okay.
Did you create the rules, or
Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
I suspect? Since I don't have to interrogate you, and I don't have to read you your rights because we're just talking. You're not under arrest. I think that you are being very suspicious in the sense that you do not want to identify yourself. You're creating a certain amount of suspicion about yourself.
The situation escalated further when the cop decided to detain the man to continue his investigation. But how exactly does detaining a person aid in such a situation? Instead of wasting time in such an unproductive manner, the officer could have focused on locating the child reported to be running around the neighborhood. The cop then thought to ask the man for the names of his children, suspecting that the runaway child might be his and that he was responsible for him. The man, of course, refused to provide information about his children, who were in his car behind him the whole time. The cop interpreted this refusal as the man concealing information and took offense at his unwillingness to answer his questions. Why do constitutional laws exist if cops act as if they don't? Moreover, has this cop ever heard of the Fifth Amendment?
Is suspicious a misdemeanor or a felony?
No, that is not a crime.
Okay.
You're not committing a crime.
Am I being detained right now?
You are being detained.
Okay.
That's right. So I can conduct
For
an
what
investigation.
crime am I being detained?
You do not have to be committing a crime to be detained. I'm
Okay.
conducting an investigation. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying to you. I mean, I said you haven't committed a crime.
Okay.
I said, but I'm conducting an investigation.
Okay, so do your
So-
investigation.
May I have your name and your identification?
No, sir.
Okay. May I have the child's name?
No. Those are my kids and they're minors.
Okay. Okay, and so you're refusing to answer my questions.
Yes.
So if I write you a ticket for hindering my investigation,
You'll be violating my civil rights and you'll be in civil litigation.
okay, for doing what?
Am I being detained?
You're being detained
Okay.
because I'm conducting an investigation.
I'm requesting your supervisor now.
If he is still around, I'll be more than glad to get him for you. I'll tell you what, I'll try to call him on the phone to have.
Nah. I don't want to speak on the phone.
Okay.
Why don't you tell dispatch to call the the complainant.
When the man realized he couldn't have a reasonable conversation with this cop, he demanded that the cop call a supervisor. The cop decided the best thing to do was to call the supervisor on the phone. However, the man didn't want to deal with the supervisor over the phone. He wanted the supervisor to come in person so he could help file a complaint against this cop. After all, the rookie is obligated to call his supervisor to the scene every time someone requests it, not just over the phone.
See if they can get a description or whatever the case may be
let's
to
be
help you
very
in your
clear.
investigation.
Sir, I'm the police. Are you a police officer?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. I'm a police officer. I have the authority over this investigation. Okay? I have the authority.
Why are you harassing me right now?
Can you please define harassment?
You're harassing me right now.
No, I don't meet the criteria. Just like you haven't committed a crime.
Mhm.
So I'm not charging you with a crime.
Okay.
You're saying that I'm harassing you, but I have not committed the act of harassment. I'm simply conducting an investigation. I mean, like I said, I came to professionals, and you're
You're
refusing
gonna jam
to.
yourself up. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We were all good until you got here. We were having a splendid day, brother.
So,
Don't violate my rights.
so,
I'm telling you.
so by asking you some questions, I've
No,
ruined your
absolutely
day?
not. You can ask, but I can refuse. Unless you suspect me of committing a crime, I don't need to identify myself.
Well, I tell you what, since you're not under arrest, and I'm going to do everything that I can to treat you as fairly as possible. But if you put yourself
Even though the cop believed he was doing everything right, all he really did was tarnish his department's reputation. Consider his actions during an important assignment. He's preoccupied with the fact that the man didn't want to identify himself, even though there was no requirement for the man to do so. The cop went a step further by scrutinizing the children who were sitting in the car behind the man. Despite seeing that the man's children were fine and simply enjoying the ride with their father, the officer claimed he didn't know how many children the man had and suggested that another child of the man might be the one running naked around the neighborhood.
yourself in my shoes, and you were a police officer, and I refuse to identify yourself with a juvenile in
And
the car.
that's actually good that you guys have body cameras. For a small department like yours, I'm glad you guys have body
Well,
cameras.
Do you know why we have body cameras?
I
Because it
don't know
keeps-
why, but it's good for transparency.
That's exactly right. I'm trying to be transparent.
Okay. Do you have a CAD number for this?
I will have.
Okay.
Yep. See, I'm not at my mobile computer because I'm conducting this investigation, and just given the nature of what we have, I'm not going to step away from my vehicle. You've created a certain amount of suspicion and uneasiness with me trying to conduct
So
my
how can I quell your suspicions?
You can identify yourself.
Okay. Do you,
That would help.
do you suspect me of committing a crime, Officer
Okay.
Weaver?
Um,
It's a yes or no question.
I suspect that reasonable suspicion is letting me know that there's a juvenile in your car that I can plainly see. That's plain view.
Okay.
Okay. I know that I got a call about a juvenile running around naked.
Okay. Did
In
you
this area.
observe any of these children running around naked?
Well, I don't know how many children you have. May I see?
Yeah. Why not?
The children in the car were terrified as the cop harassed their father and stared at them as if they all had done something wrong. However, the cop claimed he was just doing his job. Recall that the cop was supposedly on a mission to find a kid running around the neighborhood naked, but he was still wasting his time engaging with this man. Whenever the man mentioned something related to the law, the cop would become offended by the idea that someone knew the law better than he did.
Just two in here. Is there any in the back seat?
No,
In the very back?
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. Okay.
And quite frankly, if you look at their faces, you're scaring them.
Okay. What am I doing to scare them?
You're harassing their father.
Can you please define the word harass, please? I'm not causing an alarm, disturbance, or an annoyance. I'm simply conducting an investigation.
Yeah.
Because I'm a police officer.
Okay.
That is my job. So how can I be harassing you if I'm simply doing my job?
Gotcha. So I'm not obstructing you from doing your job. You can do
You
your
are by
investigation.
refusing to identify yourself.
I'm not identifying myself. I haven't committed a crime. This is not Nazi Germany.
Do what now?
It's not Nazi Germany.
Oh, I wouldn't. And I'm not forcing you to. I'm just simply trying to keep you within the scope of my investigation.
There's no reason why you should be afraid of me either, like you said.
Finally, the long-awaited supervisor arrived. However, his understanding of the law was no better than that of the initial cop. It's no wonder that everyone in this department behaves unprofessionally. They lack a proper role model. The supervisor, aware of how incorrect his officer's actions were, still defended him for some reason. He rationalized the behavior by telling the man that they needed to ensure everyone in the neighborhood was safe. Yet, ironically, they were doing everything but that, as the child they were supposed to be looking for was still missing, while their focus increasingly shifted to this man. The supervisor stated that this time he would let the man go, even though he didn't know his name. The truth was, he didn't even need to know his name or anything else about him.
Okay? And I feel like I do have reasonable suspicion that something could be amiss here. Okay? But
Like what?
But you have 2 juveniles in your
Okay.
car, in the area that the complaint was called
I've
out.
already clarified that these are my children.
Yes, that's correct.
And you're scaring me.
Well, you know, the only thing that I know to tell you is something I learned a long time ago. I can't provide security, which is part of being a police officer, without some form of, what was the word? Without a little bit of discomfort. That just comes with the nature. And I don't mean it. I really don't. I'm simply trying to conduct an investigation. But from after speaking with Deputy Edwards and gaining some wisdom from him, okay, I'm not going to step on your rights. And I do not think at this time, okay, from what the sum of everything that I've gathered, I do not think that you've committed a crime, okay? And I don't want to overstep my bounds as an officer by trying to force you to do something, or try to force you to do something that is in direct violation of your rights. I have rights, you have rights. That's the way that I police. I want to be fair. Firm but fair within the law. And at this time, after speaking with Deputy Edwards, I do not feel like that I have enough evidence or probable cause to make you or try to force you to identify yourself, okay? And so with that, I'm going to leave you. I don't know your name, and that's all right.
The supervisor knew they couldn't legally force an ID from a man who had done nothing wrong, but was unwilling to admit that they lacked the authority to do so. Therefore, he framed it as a gesture of goodwill and a voluntary request for this man to identify himself. Remarkably, the supervisor even found it within himself to apologize to the man for the inconvenience caused. Cops like these need individuals like this man to remind them of their proper roles and limits.
I don't think that you've committed a crime, and I do apologize for inconvenience. That's what the word I was looking for. Sometimes you can't provide security without inconvenience, and that is a part of my job. So, like I said, have a good day, and I apologize for your inconvenience. But I am going to be leaving, and like I said, I don't think that at this time I have probable cause to think that you have committed a crime. So, therefore, I'm terminating my investigation. Okay?
Yeah. I need a CAD number. Can you write it down for me, please?
You can call Jackson County Dispatch 911 and let them know that you were just stopped by Officer Weaver at the Jackson County Extension Office.
Now that's an emergency line.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a?
I do. I have a regular landline if you'd like that.
A man decided to go outside the police station to exercise his rights when a rookie cop approached him. The cop mentioned that he had received complaints about a man filming people as they entered and exited the police station building. However, it wasn't his role to ensure the man stopped filming. His duty was to explain to people that everyone has a right to record in public. After all, just because they are uncomfortable doesn't mean a person should relinquish their rights, right?
Put it on me, so what?
I got you. Just step over this way just so you're away from it. That's all I'm worried about.
I'm not reaching for, bro. Look at me.
I know. Just step over here for me.
Look
That's
at
all
me,
I'm asking.
dude.
Very simple. Very simple. Let's go ahead and do that.
Hang
okay?
on. Let me do
Okay,
this.
you can do that. You step over here.
I'm stepping, dude. Just
Okay.
give me a fucking minute.
All right. So what's the deal?
Ain't no deal. What do you mean
they're
deal?
calling You guys.
There's no deal.
Okay, well, the business is calling you guys.
Okay,
And you're taking pictures
and?
of people coming and leaving.
Sure enough. Absolutely.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, there's always a reason for stuff.
Okay, well, you
What's
mind
your name? I can't-
elaborating me with that on what that
Harris? Is that
is? Yes.
BS Harris?
Do you mind elaborating on what the reason is you're out here?
I don't got to tell you all that, man.
You don't, but I'm just asking so I can inform them.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell them we doing whatever we can do out here.
That doesn't make any
Legally
sense.
allowed. Yeah.
That isn't making sense. But
Well, it ain't got to make sense.
okay. Well, all I'm asking you is don't go on their property.
I've never been on the property. I don't need
I'm
your
just-
directives. I don't need them. I'm
Well, I'm
grown.
just telling you
I'm
'cause they're
grown.
gonna trespass
I'm
you.
grown. Okay?
Okay.
I don't care if they trespass me. I don't even know what this place is, dude. I don't care.
Okay.
Okay? They can
So you're
trespass
just
all
out
they
here
want.
trying to looking for a scene to make or
No,
something like that?
I'm out here recording. That's what I'm doing.
Making a scene. Got it.
No,
Okay.
man.
Just
What
don't go on their
scene?
property
What
because
scene?
They're going to have you trespassing.
You
could
making
be
a
arrested.
scene.
Sound good?
You're being disorderly. Would you calm
sound
down? You're being disorderly. So stop.
That's all I'm
Stop
asking.
with the directives. I don't want to hear
That's all I'm
nothing.
asking.
Stop
So you
talking.
don't go on their
Just
private
stop
property.
talking.
Okay? That's it.
Stop talking.
That's it. That's all
I don't
I'm
need that. I don't listen to you. You're not my daddy.
The cop even tried to charge the man with trespassing, which was absurd. Does this cop even understand what trespassing means? How can he charge someone with trespassing if they aren't on private property? However, it seems that cops like this one are only interested in enforcing their own version of the laws. The situation escalated further when backup arrived unnecessarily, as if this cop couldn't handle a single individual who, by the way, hadn't done anything wrong. This police officer even tried to accuse the man of being drunk. But when that didn't work, he had no choice but to go back to his job with his head down.
I'm just
Okay?
informing you about what's
I
gonna
don't
happen
care
if
what you
go
got to
over.
say.
Okay, that's it.
Then go home. Be gone.
Okay. That's all, man. I'm just having a conversation.
I'm a grown
That's it.
man. I do what I please.
I see that.
Okay?
I see that.
Right.
What was that?
You're dismissed, she said. Are you hard of hearing?
Yeah, actually.
I am too. So there you go. There's your partners here.
Okay, that's great. All I'm telling you is you can't go on.
You
the
don't
private
need to
property.
tell me nothing. I'm a grown man. I know the laws and what not to do.
Well, I'm just
I'm
informing you.
grown.
Some people don't know
How,
laws.
you done said that 4 times.
I know. And that's my
You
word is, 'cause I don't
want to say it
see you- I don't
again?
wanna see you get
Say
in
it
trouble.
5 times. It'll
I don't
mean
wanna
a
see
lot.
you get in trouble for
It'll mean a
going on
lot if
private
you say it 5 times. It'll actually
You
stick.
go on the private property, you're going to get charged.
5
with
times. There you go.
trespassing.
What an
As long as
idiot.
you understand.
What an idiot, dude.
As long as you understand.
Yeah.
You understand that as well?
Hey, I understand that.
On the property.
You understand that?
Understand that?
Do you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that? You want me to turn it up? You understand that?
I thought you were grown.
Yeah. That's not saying you're number one either. So go back to work.
This time, we have a cop who deliberately dug a hole for himself. He saw a man outside the police department filming and recognizing him as a well-known YouTuber who films his interaction with police officers. Even though he knew it would look very bad and likely lead to trouble, this cop simply didn't care. His ego was too large to consider backing down. The cop immediately approached the man and detained him, claiming that the man was causing disturbances. He stated that he had initiated an investigation to determine why the man was allegedly harassing people around him, and that the man would be detained until the investigation was completed. So it begs the question, how do the police think they can detain anyone they want under the guise of conducting an investigation? After all, investigating a constitutionally protected activity like recording is misguided. Nevertheless, the cop seemed eager to make it onto the internet. Who knows, maybe he thought that this was his chance to demonstrate his power by detaining anyone at will.
Play games with me, okay? I know what you're
I'm
doing.
engaged in lawful activity.
I know what you're doing. You're a First Amendment frauditor. I get it.
That's
Just
constitutionally
step over
protected
here, okay?
activity. Why am I
Step
being
over.
detained?
Because you're creating a disturbance. All right, step over here.
This is constitutionally protected activity.
Sir.
You cannot make it a crime.
Sir, you are creating a
What is
disturbance.
your name and
I'm
badge number?
investigating the disturbance.
I got my ID in my
Stop.
pocket if you want to
Stop.
see
You
it.
don't dictate what happens here. I need to talk to you. I
game's
know
in
your
consti-
game. It's okay.
Then why are you
Don't-
even here?
I don't want to play with this game with you, okay?
If you know my game,
You are
then you know I'm...
intentionally creating a disturbance
No, I'm
in
not.
order to create a lawsuit. That's what you want to do.
I
I get
am-
that.
I
I
am-
acknowledge that that is your profession. I understand that is how you make your money.
What law am I
I'm here
breaking?
doing my job.
What law am I
okay?
violating?
You're creating a disturbance and you're bothering folks over here.
What
I'm
law
here
am
to
I
investigate why. I want this video camera behind you to watch you.
Okay.
Okay? I want it to be catching all of this interaction. You have yours. That's great. That's cool. I look
Fine.
forward to seeing myself on YouTube.
I gotta
again.
get back to work.
All right? No. I got to do my job. You have caused me to come here. That's what you've done. I know who you are. I know what you're doing. Okay, I know
Okay,
what
so you know who I
folks
am.
like you do.
You know what I'm doing. You know that I'm
I don't know
engaged in
you
constitutionally
specifically.
protected activity.
I don't know you specifically.
So
I know
your
you're
qualified
fine.
immunity
You're ill.
is gone, dude.